When a teenager is caught using drugs or alcohol, society tends to jump to a very specific set of conclusions. We assume a bad crowd, surrendered to peer pressure, or outright rebellion. Because of that assumption, the default response from schools and parents is almost always strict discipline. Suspensions, grounding, and harsh punishments are deployed to forcefully correct the behavior. There is a paradox built into this reaction, but coming down hard often accelerates the downward spiral, escalating the crisis rather than stopping the underlying behavior. Instead of fixing the problem, a punishment-heavy response drives the teenager into deep secrecy. It teaches them to hide their actions better and shuts down the possibility of honest disclosure. Clinicians recognize that for the vast majority of adolescents, substance use is an external response to internal distress. The drug or alcohol use is the visible, surface-level symptom of an invisible mental health crisis. Underneath that surface behavior, these teens are often navigating untreated psychological drivers, things like intense anxiety, depression, ADHD, or trauma. In this context, substance use functions as a desperate, misguided coping mechanism used to manage an overwhelming amount of internal stress. Adults can often spot the warning signs well before things escalate. These include sudden, unexplained changes in a friend group or a decline in school performance and daily motivation. Then there are the physical signs that warrant immediate attention: extreme disruptions in sleep, severe shifts in daily energy, and a noticeable withdrawal from family life. Recognizing these signals early and intervening with curiosity rather than anger is the strongest predictor of a positive long-term outcome. Think of a teenager's clinical reality as a dual-track system. Their mental health and their substance use are inextricably linked, constantly influencing and driving each other in a continuous loop. Treating only the substance use while ignoring the underlying mental health condition ensures the trauma or anxiety keeps spinning. The system eventually jams, leading back to a clinical relapse. The effective countermeasure is integrated care. This approach treats both the addiction and the underlying psychological driver at the same time. This is achieved through evidence-based methods like cognitive behavioral therapy, which targets negative thought patterns, and the Adolescent Community Reinforcement Approach, or ACRA. These therapies build practical, substance-free coping skills. For teenagers who are ambivalent about change, clinicians use motivational interviewing to help them find their own internal drive to seek help. Because adolescents do not live in isolation, success requires family-based therapy. This integrates the family unit into the process, so the teenager has structural support at home. For school staff and providers, this requires replacing a disciplinary stance with curiosity and an immediate clinical referral. The school environment is the most critical point for this intervention. It is where teenagers spend the majority of their time, and where behavioral changes are most visible. MentalSpace School delivers this integrated model directly inside Georgia K-12 school districts. Students get access to same-day teletherapy with licensed, culturally competent clinicians. These teams immediately address both the substance use and the root causes. The model removes administrative and financial barriers. The system is fully compliant with HIPAA, FERPA, and Georgia's HB 268 mandate, and for students on Medicaid, the cost is $0. The data reflects the impact of this integrated care. Schools using this model see an 89% improvement in student attendance and a 92% reduction in reported anxiety. By addressing the underlying cause, we stop managing symptoms and start restoring a student's ability to engage with their education and their future.